Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into memory techniques.
Ooh, memory techniques.
Yeah, we're going to get into some really, really cool stuff today.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, so we're using this ebook called Memory Advanced as our guide, and we're going to be talking about how to remember everything.
Everything.
Everything from shopping lists to historical dates,
Ooh, wow.
maybe even pick up a new language faster along the way.
Oh, I like that.
Who knows, right? But so Memory Advanced, this ebook, it really emphasizes how memory actually works.
Right, because it's not like just hitting save on a computer file.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, when you just file something away, you think it's going to be there forever?
Right, it's not like that at all. It's more like I guess think of it more like a constantly evolving landscape,
Hmm.
Like it's always changing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's shaped by how we use the information and access it.
So not like rote memorization.
Not at all. Rote memorization is like, I think the ebook said, it's like building a house on sand.
Oh.
Yeah, Memory Advanced is all about building on solid ground.
I like that analogy. Okay, so let's get into some of these techniques then.
All right.
The first one that the ebook talks about is this system called number rhymes.
Number rhymes.
And the ebook says you can remember a 10-item list in minutes using this system.
Really?
Yeah. So what you do is you assign a vivid and memorable rhyme to each number from 1 to 10. So, for example, 1 is bun, 2 is shoe, 3 is tree.
Okay, I got it.
And you just go down the line, and you can come up with your own rhymes if you want, but they give you some examples in the book.
Right, and then how do you actually use that to remember stuff?
So let's say I need to remember to buy carrots.
Carrots.
I could picture this giant carrot
Okay.
stuffed inside a bun,
Yeah.
and maybe the carrot's wearing a tiny hat or something like that,
I like that.
just to make it really memorable.
So the sillier the better.
Yeah, exactly. You're not just memorizing, you're creating a scene in your mind.
I see.
Does that make sense?
It does. And it seems like it would work because our brains are much better at remembering images and stories
Right.
than just plain lists.
Way better.
Yeah. So this is kind of tapping into that natural ability that we have.
Right, and plus we're using rhymes, so it's like,
It's catchy.
yeah,
It's like a jingle.
it's like a memory jingle.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so, but what if my grocery list has like way more than 10 items?
Yeah, how are you going to fit all that on a bun?
Yeah, right. You can only fit so many carrots in a bun.
Exactly. That's where the book gets really interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It actually expands the system. So you can remember 100 items
What?
or even 1,000.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Using banks and patches.
Banks and patches.
Banks and patches. So it sounds kind of like a fashion statement.
Yeah, I know, right? What is that?
But think of it this way. Your bank is that number rhyme system we talked about.
Okay, got it.
And then you add a patch, which is a shape that you associate with each number from 0 to 9. So for example, let's say you wanted to remember item number 28.
Okay.
You've got your shoe rhyme for 2, right?
Right.
And then let's say for 8, you have a snowman shape.
Oh, okay.
Now you've got a snowman wearing shoes.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So it's like you're creating this whole memory landscape instead of just like isolated images.
Exactly.
Mm.
And you just keep layering those visual cues.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and it gets even more interesting because they have this system called body parts.
Oh, body parts.
Body parts,
Hmm.
which I think is perfect for people who are kinesthetic learners,
Oh, yeah.
people who like to move around.
Yeah.
So imagine your body is like a walking memory palace.
A walking memory palace.
Yeah, you've got your
Yeah.
foot, your knee, your thigh, your bottom waist. All these different body parts become memory pegs.
So instead of writing a to-do list, you could just like visualize it on your body.
You got it. So let's say you need to remember to buy butter. You could imagine yourself on a tropical beach,
Hmm.
slathering butter all over your thighs.
All right. All right. I don't know if I'm going to do that one in the grocery store.
I know, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea.
The more action you can add, the more sensory detail, the better it sticks.
Oh, that's good. All right. So we've got number rhymes. We've got body parts.
Hmm.
What about people who are more number-oriented? Like myself.
That's where the letter-shaped system comes in.
Letter shapes.
Yeah, this one takes a little bit of abstract thinking, but it's super powerful for remembering dates and numbers.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it assigns a letter to each number based on its shape and sound.
Okay.
So for example, 1 is Tai, 2 is Noah, 3 is Ma,
Mm.
and then you can actually combine those letter sounds to form words
Oh, wow.
that represent longer numbers like phone numbers or historical dates.
So I could finally memorize all those historical dates I always mix up.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
So for example, 73 becomes comb because the B is silent.
I see.
So it transforms abstract numbers into these really concrete visual words.
It's like cracking a code for your memory. That's awesome. Okay, so what about people who love a good story? Is there a system for them?
Of course. The story method.
Story method.
This one taps into our natural love for storytelling.
Okay.
So remember that shopping list?
Yeah.
Instead of just visualizing each item, you weave all those items into a funny, vivid story.
Oh.
So instead of just carrots, it's a giant carrot wearing a tiny hat bursting out of a bun.
Right.
And then that bun leads to the next item on your list.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And the more outlandish and memorable the story is, the better it's going to stick.
Yeah, I like that. And you can like loop it back around, right?
Yeah. You can link that last item back to the first one.
Perfect.
So it creates this continuous loop. It's like a memory merry-go-round.
Oh, I love that. A memory merry-go-round.
Yeah, your brain loves a good narrative.
It does.
And this just turns your shopping list into a mini adventure.
This is great. I'm actually starting to have fun with this. I was a little skeptical at first, but I'm seeing how these like seemingly simple techniques
Right.
could actually be super powerful.
And we've only just scratched the surface. We've got a couple more systems to explore.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep going then.
Including ones that tap into our sense of place and journey.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned because things are going to get really interesting.
I can't wait.
I know.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and ready to dive into more of these memory techniques.
You ready for some more?
I'm actually getting really excited about this.
Me too.
So, last time we were talking about number rhymes and body parts and all these creative ways to remember things.
Right, using our bodies and rhymes and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any systems that tap into like our sense of space or movement?
You're in luck. We've got the journey and place methods.
The journey and place.
Yeah, and these actually go way back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like ancient memory techniques.
Wow.
Like Roman generals, Greek orators, all those guys use these.
So we're talking about techniques that have been around for centuries.
Exactly. And they still work incredibly well today.
Wow, that's amazing. So what's the journey method all about?
So the journey method basically uses a familiar route, like your walk to work, or even just a walk around your house,
Okay.
as a mental memory palace.
A memory palace. What's that?
It's like this mental map in your mind where you can store information.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of picturing items just floating in space, you're placing them along this specific path that you know really well.
Oh, I see. So let's say my route to work passes by a bus stop, a coffee shop, and a park.
Okay, I like it.
I could associate each item on my shopping list with one of those landmarks.
Exactly.
So like milk at the bus stop, bananas hanging from the coffee shop awning.
Perfect, you're getting it.
So it's not just random images, but they're anchored to this like sequence that I already know. I can almost like walk through my memory palace and see the items as I go.
Exactly. And you can even combine this with the other systems we learned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, imagine that snowman wearing shoes,
Okay.
tap dancing at the bus stop.
Oh my gosh, now that's a memory I won't forget.
Right.
Okay, so that's the journey method. What about the place method? How's that different?
So the place method is similar, but instead of a linear path, you use familiar locations,
Okay.
like rooms in your house, landmarks in your town.
Okay.
Each location becomes a peg to hang a memory on.
Oh, I see. So like if I need to remember to call my friend back,
Yes,
I could picture them phone in hand sitting in my favorite armchair.
exactly. And again, you can get creative.
Oh, of course.
Maybe your friend is surrounded by those tap dancing snowmen.
All right, now we're just getting silly, but I like it.
It works though, right?
It does. It does. You mentioned that these techniques are ancient. Like, is there any science behind why they work so well?
Oh yeah. There's actually a lot of research on this.
Really?
Yeah, our brains are just naturally wired to remember spatial information and sequences. Think about how easily you can navigate your own home, even in the dark.
That's true. I never bump into furniture in the middle of the night,
Exactly.
even without the lights on.
The journey and place methods just tap into that innate ability.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, by linking information to specific locations or routes, we're basically creating this mental map that our brains can easily follow.
So it's not just tricks. It's like really working with how our brains are designed.
Exactly.
I have to admit, I'm starting to feel a lot less skeptical
I know, me too.
and a lot more excited about all this.
I know, it's really cool stuff.
It is. So, okay, we've got the journey method, the place method. We've got all these visual techniques.
Right.
What else? What other tools do we have in our memory arsenal?
Well, we've got to talk about active recall and spaced repetition.
Active recall, spaced repetition. Those sound kind of technical.
They are a little bit, but they're super important for making these techniques really stick.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So active recall is basically just the act of actively trying to retrieve information from your memory.
Oh,
So instead of passively reading something,
right.
you force yourself to recall it without looking at your notes.
So like a mental pop quiz.
Exactly. And the more you practice recalling information,
Yeah.
the stronger that memory trace becomes.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like exercising a muscle.
Yeah.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's active recall. What about spaced repetition? What's so special about spacing things out?
So this is where the science gets really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, spaced repetition basically taps into the way our brains naturally forget information.
Wait, so we're actually supposed to forget things? I thought the goal was to remember everything perfectly.
I know, right? It seems counterintuitive, but forgetting is actually a crucial part of learning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we forget something and then we relearn it,
Uh-huh.
that memory trace becomes stronger and more resistant to forgetting.
Oh, so it's like we're reinforcing those connections in our brain.
Exactly. Every time we revisit that information.
Wow, okay.
And that's what spaced repetition is all about.
So instead of cramming everything all at once, you space out your review sessions,
Exactly.
gradually increasing the time between each review.
You got it. And Memory Advanced even gives you specific timing suggestions
Oh, so wow.
for optimal recall.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this strategic spacing allows your brain to encode the information more deeply and move it from short-term to long-term memory.
So we're not just like stuffing information in there. We're actually like training our memory to retain it for the long haul.
Precisely.
This is amazing. I'm starting to feel like a mental athlete.
I love that analogy.
Mm.
And just like an athlete needs to fuel their body for peak performance,
Uh-huh.
our brains also need the right nutrients to function at their best.
But hold on. Are you saying there's a connection between what I eat and how well I remember things?
Absolutely. Memory Advanced talks about this too.
Really?
Yeah, the importance of a healthy diet for optimal brain function.
Hmm.
Things like staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water.
Oh, yeah. Water's important for everything.
It is.
Yeah.
Dehydration can actually impair memory and cognitive function.
So that afternoon slump I get might not just be from boredom.
It could be dehydration.
It could be from not drinking enough water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ebook also gives you a list of brain-boosting foods.
Oh, really? Like what?
Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, lean proteins, healthy fats.
Oh, okay. So the good stuff.
All the good stuff. It's a good reminder that what we put into our bodies affects our brains.
That's so true. This is all starting to make so much sense. It's like we're not just memorizing facts.
Right.
We're actually training our minds to be sharper, more focused, more effective overall.
Exactly. It's like a holistic approach to brain power.
I love it. And we're not done yet, right?
No way. We've got one more part to go.
Oh, man, this is exciting.
I know.
Okay, so in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to explore even more advanced techniques
Yes.
and delve into the mind-blowing potential of memory training.
It's going to be good, so stay tuned.
I can't wait. Welcome back. It feels like we've been on this incredible journey,
I know, right?
exploring all these memory techniques.
Not from rhyming carrots to building these mental palaces in our minds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm starting to see my own brain in a whole new light.
That's what I love about these techniques.
Yeah.
They not only give you practical tools,
Right.
but they also open your eyes to the incredible potential
Yeah.
of your own mind.
So speaking of potential, are there any techniques that go beyond everyday memory tasks?
Oh, absolutely.
Can we use these systems for really mind-boggling feats of memory?
Yeah, Memory Advanced actually dedicates a whole section to advanced techniques
Really?
used by memory champions.
Memory champions. Are we talking about those people who can memorize decks of cards in seconds?
The very same. These mental athletes, they train their memories with incredible dedication,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's humanly possible.
That's wild. But I'm guessing most of us don't have aspirations to compete on a memory stage,
Probably not,
right?
but that's okay. The point is that everyone can benefit from these techniques. Whether you're a student trying to ace an exam, a professional wanting to sharpen your skills, or just someone who wants to remember where they left their keys.
Speaking of remembering things, is there a technique for remembering the order of a shuffled deck of cards? That's always seemed impossible to me.
There is,
Really?
and it's surprisingly approachable once you break it down.
Yeah.
The book introduces a system that combines the phonetic letter and number system
Right.
with the suits of the cards. and you create these memorable images.
So instead of trying to remember Queen of Hearts, I would have like a code word.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
for example, the Queen of Hearts might become crane based on the system,
Okay.
and then you just weave that crane into a story or place it in your memory palace.
So it's like those other systems we talked about just applied to cards.
Exactly.
It's starting to feel less like magic and more like an actual skill you can learn.
That's the point.
Right.
And once you master this system, you can do some pretty impressive things.
Yeah.
Like memorizing the order of a shuffled deck, or even using card counting techniques to improve your odds in games like poker.
Okay. I'm definitely adding Card Shark to my memory training to-do list.
There you go.
But on a more serious note, one of the things that really amazed me in Memory Advanced was this idea that training our memory could make us more intelligent overall.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
It is.
We often think of memory as this separate skill,
Right.
isolated from other cognitive functions.
Yeah.
But the reality is that our memories shape our perceptions, our understanding, even our decision-making processes.
So it's not just about remembering facts. It's about like strengthening those neural connections
Right.
that allow us to think critically and solve problems and even be more creative.
Precisely. The book highlights these historical figures,
Really?
like Roman generals, Greek orators,
Okay.
who used memory techniques not just for rote memorization,
Right.
but to craft persuasive arguments
Wow.
and deliver captivating speeches.
So it's almost like they were using these techniques to enhance their overall cognitive abilities.
Exactly.
Make them more effective thinkers and communicators.
Precisely.
That's amazing.
And it's not just ancient history, right?
No, not at all. There are studies that have shown that memory training can have a positive impact
Oh, wow.
on a wide range of cognitive functions, from attention and focus to language learning and problem solving.
So it's like a mental workout
It is.
that benefits your entire brain,
Yes.
not just your memory muscles.
Perfect analogy. And just like any workout, it takes effort and consistency to see results.
Right.
And Memory Advanced really encourages readers to embrace that journey, to
Yeah.
see memory training not as a chore, but as this fascinating exploration of what the human mind can do.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what's been so exciting about this deep dive. We've gone beyond like simple tips and tricks
Right.
and really delved into like the potential of our own minds.
Yeah.
It's been eye-opening, to say the least.
I'm glad to hear it. And remember, this is just the beginning of your memory adventure.
Right. It's just the beginning. Yeah, the more you explore, the more you'll discover about the power of your own mind.
I'm ready for the challenge, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to unlock their own memory potential. What would you say is the most important takeaway from our deep dive?
I think the most important thing to remember is that your memory is not fixed. It's a skill that can be trained and improved with the right techniques and a little bit of dedication.
It's like we all have these incredible mental superpowers
We do.
for waiting to be unleashed.
Exactly. So go out there, experiment with these techniques, and see what you can achieve.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into memory techniques.